Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I'm Michael Pachter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. If you are watching this real time, it's because you are a subscriber to SIFTD or because you're a subscriber to YouTube. That gets us paid. Another way to get us paid is to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We have a brief video that explains how to do it. It takes about 3 seconds, and you have to re-up that every month or so. But please try to remember to do that. It costs you nothing. You're already paying for it. So all you're essentially doing is getting the free shipping part of Amazon Prime by getting us paid and getting free Pachter lovin'. So appreciate it if you can do that. All right, let's get to today's question from YouTube, from Darcy James. We recently saw the first gameplay of the next Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, and it looks very similar to Breath of the Wild. It's the closest thing to a direct Zelda sequel we've ever seen, but the second Zelda game on each console usually doesn't sell as well. Should sequels be as similar to the first game as possible, or is it better if they break out and use the popularity of the first game to present new ideas? Look, there's a school of thought that if people really, really like a game, then you can do a sequel and just continue the story. A good topical example, John Wick, 1, 2, 3, 4. And, John Wick 1, I hate to ruin this for you, but they kill his dog in like the first scene. So they kill his dog and he goes out and kills everybody involved because he's pissed, and his wife had died and the wife gave him the dog. So great plot. 2 is more of the same. It literally happens within the same couple of week period. 3 is more of the same. It literally happens within the same month. And in 3, he gets betrayed by one of the big guys, and it ends on the betrayal and on the let's get even. And then 4, which I don't even know if that's the last one, but 4 is kind of resolving the story. So if you watch all 4 in a row, it all happens, I would say, no more than 5 weeks. I mean, it all happens in the same 2 or 3 week period. I mean, it's amazing that John Wick isn't just completely bled out by the time this thing's over. But it's the same storyline and the same people. So what they proved in 1, 2, and 3 is people like more, and they bring back a sequel, and that works. And I would say Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4 was kind of like that. I mean, the stories weren't, you could have played Uncharted 3 without playing 1 and 2, and you would have figured it out, but the games are better if you played 1, 2, 3, and 4. Unlike GTA, for example. GTA, every game is kind of independent, and they don't really need to have played Vice City in order to play 4. But you could, but they're not the same. So those are kind of the models: Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, or playing GTA, and each story is kind of independent. If you played The Last of Us, the 1 took you kind of to the end of the mission of why Joel was transporting Ellie, and 2 was kind of the revenge story to get revenge for 1. And they made sense. I mean, they're not the same game, but you kind of had to play 1 to play 2. You didn't really, but it made sense. It followed. So there's 2 very distinct schools of thought on how to make sequels, and they both work. So I can't tell you. Like, I gotta say, I can't remember now. I think Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are related, but it's like prequel sequel or something. I can't remember which one's which, but they're not the same exact time. They're a different time. They're the same main character, but different time and different stories. And there's ways to do it. James Bond. Each one is a sequel, but they don't build on each other. They just revolve around the same guy. So there's 2 ways to do it, and I'm not sure that Nintendo. You say it, I believe you, but I haven't played every game Nintendo's ever made. It's not like Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and 4, were related to one another. They were the same game with just different missions and different challenges. Most Nintendo games don't have the big storyline. So I think that's where Nintendo took advantage with Zelda, with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, to build on a story that they had started. I really think that's the commonality between the 2 games. And again, people who like that really like it. So, I read the Game of Thrones books, 5 of them, and each one followed the one prior. What happened? Turns into a TV series. It makes sense, 6-season TV series. So, there's just two different ways to do it. Think about TV shows. You can have Seinfeld where each episode is independent and they're their own story. And you can have 24 where each episode builds on the one right before, but each season doesn't. So again, there's ways to do it. I think this is a valid way. I don't think your premise that sequels sell more poorly is right on this one. Now, Zelda Breath of the Wild sold really well because it was a Switch launch title, but it was a Wii U title. And it is, it's hard to ever call out the best Nintendo game, but it's probably the best Nintendo game made for the Switch. And again, you can say you like Mario Kart better or Smash Brothers better, but it's the real essence of Nintendo is a Zelda game and with the story. And the attach rate has been phenomenal. My expectation is that they time Tears of the Kingdom to get a year in front of the next hardware launch. So I think the Switch 2 comes out in a year or so, and this thing will be a big seller for that, and they'll have it remastered and ready to go on the Switch 2. And they'll probably sell Switch 1 and 2 side by side for a while. And the Switch 2 is going to very likely be bigger, better screen, much more powerful docking station, much better graphics on TV. I expect that they'll sell another 100 and some odd million of those. And so I think this is going to be a big game. And I got to say, Nintendo, I get hot and cold on Nintendo. They've actually found their way. They really do understand who they are. And their hardware is inexpensive relative to the other guys. There's cheap options, $199 option up to $349, but it's still really, really well priced. The battery life's getting better. The screen size is better. The graphic fidelity on the OLED model is amazing. They just have their shit together, and their software keeps churning out great content. So I think this thing will sell better than Breath of the Wild. But I say that Breath of the Wild will still be available, and if they discount it to $20, it'll sell another 20 million units. So, who knows? I think that they will be among the two best-selling games of all time. Obviously, GTA a little higher, but Mario Kart attaches to every Switch, and Smash Brothers gets close to attaching every Switch. There are some titles on Nintendo that you just buy because they're so great. I'm not a big Smash Brothers fan, but I get why people buy it, and I get why they play it again and again and again. So we'll see. I gotta say, it's funny. I really like Zelda games, but I'm more of a Mario guy. So I like Super Mario far better. And again, the Mario movie resonates with me because I love Mario games so much. Where I don't think I would watch a Link Zelda movie. Like I would, but I wouldn't really care. Like the story there, no. Mario, fun. But stomping mushrooms, fun. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. If you are a Patreon patron and you're supporting SIFTD directly, thank you so much. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you. And if you are an Amazon Prime member and you have linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, thank you. You should be getting this content real time if you do any of those things. If you have none of those options and you're stuck, just watching this stuff for free, you're getting it a week late, but that's the price you have to pay for Shane schlepping out to my house and taping this. Follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter and tell me that I shamed you into following me, and I'll give you a shout out on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.